a person. That's all. We are saying we are not going into it. So why should there be a compulsion of the court? You must go into it.
So solicitor,
That's it. If we are not touching the person, it's like saying that you must touch personal law. We don't want to touch personal law. We don't want to touch personal law, then why state should be heard? We are confining our debate at the moment only to one issue. So for that issue, whatever has to be heard is only for that issue, which is
marriage.
under the special. Completed. You may answer. Under the Special Marriage Act, can we read it in a manner that it is a person? That's all. We are saying we are not going into it. So why should there be a compulsion of the court? You must go into it.
So solicitor, can
That's
you
it.
give an example of what you're trying to argue? Because if the remit is being defined in this manner, how do you say that this has some other reference?
Yes.
If you are
Lord,
that's
one Mr. A, he is Hindu. He wants to continue as a Hindu. He wants to get married under the Hindu Marriage Act. He wants to undergo the.
We're not going to address
We are
that at all.
saying we are not rejecting or accepting. We are saying we are not doing it at the
Lord,
moment.
we are then begging the question, my lord,
Maybe
No.
to reach somewhere. We are, my lord, short circuiting the issue, my lord. That's kindly, my lord, allow me. Kindly let me. My lord, I am for the first time begging that I may be heard.
To create something
Heard,
you're not
not
doing, and then you say
I'm
you
just
I am obliged.
understand what is that you are saying. We are saying we have confined them. They may have opened a very wide chapter. We said no, we don't want to get into that wide area. We don't get. Today we are only deciding this A issue. We are not touching other issue. Nobody is being prejudiced because we are neither rejecting it nor accepting it. Then we can't be compelled to hear everything else.
No,
At this
nobody
stage,
is compelling, my lord. At least on our side, we are saying your lordship should not hear. We are not compelling.
but you are saying don't hear this alone. Hear everything or hear.
No, I am saying don't hear it, my lord. I am
You're
not.
saying don't hear it at
I
all.
am saying let the parliament hear it, my lord.
That's right. But therefore, we are trying to steer a middle course, which is that we don't want to
Lord,
first say
it-
that, well, we will decide
Lord,
everything
when we are
and
deciding
then be
fate of,
and then be confronted with this argument.
is opening, but
it has several windows have opened.
the window will have to open the entire door. So don't do it.
I would, my lord, kindly on the lighter side and don't take otherwise. Several windows have already opened. Now they are trying to open the door, and I am saying that you will have to ultimately open your entire house.
Mr.
As an
Solicitor,
example, the question is whether those
He is relying on those windows which have opened.
windows have got sufficient breeze inside or not is the question.
Now,
and
another aspect.
and those windows are willy-nilly going to open whatever we decide, because society is not dependent on.
Lord, I
on
must, my lord,
legal
say as a citizen.
windows have opened up.
No, I'm no, my lord. I'm saying as a citizen. I'm not saying yes or no. Societal relations, acceptance of any relationship in the society is never dependent either on legislation or on judgments. It comes only from within. Let us accept it, whether we like to accept it or not.
widows will not
But
accept it.
leave it at that. That's my lord, more
Widows
on my lord, other philosophical aspects. Your lordships are persuaded to take up Special Marriage Act, possibly, my lord, on the ground that in one of the section the word used is spouse. My lord, my respectful submission is this, and kindly a person, my lord, not a spouse. My lord, my respectful submission is this, and kindly, my lord, examine this correctly, a little, my lord, closely. Even Special Marriage Act, and I will show, my lord, if I have to, my lord, at the a subsequent stage. The legislative intent of the legislature throughout has been a relationship between a biological male and a biological female, including Special Marriage Act.
Remarriage.
But Mr. Solicitor,
Number one,
there is a very there's a very important value judgment which you are making, that the very notion of a biological man is absolute, or that a notion of a biological woman is also an absolute notion,
Never change.
which is incorrect.
The only
No.
biological man means biological man. It's not a question of notion.
Possibilities of right.
Yes, of course it is.
None of us.
There is no absolute concept of a man or an absolute concept of a woman at all. That's the
Lord,
whole
I am-
argument in a broader constitution.
Biological man, my lord, means man only. It means, my lord, biological man. It's
Biological
not a
man is
matter
not a
of
definition
notion.
of what your genitals are. It's far more complex. That's the point.
We stop having rights if we are not a
So
biological.
even when the Special Marriage Act says man and woman, the very notion of a man and a notion of a woman is not an absolute
Kind,
based on what genitals you have.
Lord, biological man means genitals you have. Lord, I didn't want to use that expression.
So that's a point of view.
You-
You have
Lord, another thing, for man, irrespective of other attributes than the genitals,
this-
there are separate age limits prescribed. Lord, what are we doing?
no, this-
See, no, that's not an argument. That's not an argument.
But we said it is not a mandatory thing that the whole society must accept something. Changes have always come in.
Lord, your lordships will have to examine whether marriage is a fundamental right. Right to marry, divorce the law is a fundamental.
That's what I want to establish. No?
Lord, only a minute,
What
only a
else do I
minute,
want to
Lord,
establish?
only a minute.
Seeking to confine to
Lord, I know my difficulties, Lord. I know my difficulties, but I am still discharging my duty. Lord, there are several acts. If the notion is treated to be a guiding factor to decide man or a woman, then I will show several acts which your lordships would unintentionally make non-workable. I may have, my lord, genital of a man, but if I am otherwise a female, my lord, as my lord possibly trying to be suggested, then, my lord, how would I be treated under the criminal procedure code? As a woman, my lord, can I be called
Is he saying?
for 160 statement